What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we're doing a little retro review of Todd McFarlane's Spawn. But before we get into all of that, Doug, how's it going, sir?
Keith, what is it that truly separates a good comic book story from a bad one? Is it the writing, the characters, or is it the simple everyday moments like grabbing your morning coffee, scrolling through your phone, staring at your screen at 3 a.m. Googling, is it normal for it to burn there? I'm Doug McLean, co-host of Not Your Status Quo, and if there's one thing that I've learned, it's that comic book shows aren't always black and white. Uh, well, I mean, Spawn's costume is literally black and white, but you get what I'm saying. Sometimes the heroes fail, and sometimes the villains, they get the best lines. I mean, for every Andor, there's a rebel moon, reminding us of just how bad things can get. And tonight, I'm ready to dive into that gray space with you, Keith, where good intentions meet bad execution, and everyone's just hoping the next episode doesn't suck. Welcome to Spawn, Keith.
I don't think I can follow that up. Well done, sir.
I also made a really crude drawing, huge honkers, though.
Oh, you're really channeling the artist known as Todd McFarlane.
Oh, I forgot to give her guns for eyeballs.
Well, we're doing a little retro review.
Yeah, we are.
You ready for this?
Uh, honestly, I don't know if I was actually ready for this. I don't know what I was expecting.
I thought I was, and I don't think I really was.
I mean, to open up in this like old decrepit warehouse. Oh, sorry, I jumping right into it. You didn't even tell us how you're doing.
Oh, I'm doing tremendous. Let's get into it.
Okay, good. But, yeah, to open up on this old decrepit warehouse with crates of Todd McFarlane's toys that he probably couldn't sell, drawing with a fountain pen, like sketching as if he's, drawing a comic that would nobody's gonna do that. Come on, are you kidding me? Please.
I had never seen this before. I've never read a Spawn comic. Not that I'm against it. I have my issues with Todd McFarlane. We can talk about that in a minute. But
Yeah.
to start out and be such a narcissist that you have to do a live action intro and you have to say, I'm the creator of Spawn. I'm like, oh,
Right. You notice, I'm sure all of you out there that are watching us, you can see the image that Keith has put up. That is all over the show. If you try to, it's not just Spawn. This is Todd McFarlane Spawn. Everyone needs to know that this RoboCop Ghost Rider mashup is his creation.
and one of the things I almost kind of get, Rob Liefeld is very, very Todd McFarlane-esque in the sense he's always like, I created it. They left like Marvel and DC and all the big ones to create Image because they didn't feel they were getting their just dues for creating characters and stuff. Kudos to them for doing it. But my God, the fact that
it gave us Invincible, so I mean, that's good.
Yeah, 100%. But the fact that you have to constantly tell people that you're the creator of this character.
Right.
Maybe it's me, but I'm just like, every time he says it, and I hate to say this, my ratings are probably going to be skewed because opening with him talking like the way he does just puts me in a bad mood to start.
Does it mean the ratings for this stream are going to be skewed?
Well, yours was, what is the word I'm looking for? Skewing their opening a bit, or having a little fun, satire, if you will, because I've always heard good things about Spawn. Never read it, never seen a show before. I'm not impressed at all.
I probably would have been in the prime audience age range for when it came out, but at the time I didn't have HBO. So, and that's where it premiered. It was on HBO. It was this is where Todd McFarlane wanted to go, because if you look up any of the old articles that are talking about when he was trying to shop, Spawn as a series, his main thing, and because he's Lord of the Edges, Edge Lord Extreme. His big thing that he asked apparently in every interview and showing off what he wanted to do. Can I say the F word? Only he actually said the word. And HBO was like, yeah, I guess if that's all you want. You want that, and I want complete creative control over all of the episodes. And I'm like, I guess, man.
Sure. What could it hurt?
Right. Sure. We're HBO, man. We got tons of money.
Yeah. People will love anything we put out. We got a good reputation. I was, watching this first episode, which I don't know if it was me, but it was like all over the place. Like,
yeah.
They had to have a Violator, who we'll get into how terrible that character is in a minute.
Yeah.
But explain everything to you after it happens.
Thank you. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh my God, this is like some serious tell don't show. Like, we've got this stupid clown explaining the entire backstory for us, because they must have realized partway through the episode, like, oh, you know what? There's a lot of people that probably don't know who this guy is. Hold up. I got an idea. Oh, should we show the backstory kind of? No. Hear me out. We'll have the clown tell it.
Which worked so incredibly well. And everything about this show, there's a bunch of homeless people living in an alley, and he's there with them, and he's made a deal with some demon to save his life, and it's 5 years later, and he comes back, and his wife, the love of his life, Wanda, is married to another man, and he could never give her kids, but he did, and he's standing by a tree with his flowing cape in the middle of the day,
wearing
tears.
the mask and his winter cap, and it's like, okay, buddy. You're in the middle of the suburbs, bro. I think people are going to think something's weird. Like, are you casing this house? It looks like you're casing this house. And yeah, so the clown's over-explanation, plus, Todd McFarlane's intro to kind of lead us into what he thinks is the theme of the... I don't know, what he was trying to... I think he was trying to lay out the theme, but he was, getting really... awkwardly philosophical. I don't even want to say straight up philosophical, because he would mention these really weird, cringy, specific things, and it's like, what are you going for with this? And he's like, and what would you do? Good and evil, and what if you found out your best friend was giving it to your lover? And it's like, he died. You told us that's the whole premise. The dude's dead. He's been dead for 5 years. Is she supposed to stay crying forever?
Doug, do you know the difference between good and evil? You probably don't. I think everything is shades of gray.
I love also, in the first intro, he starts off by saying, do you know the difference between good and evil? And then two sentences later, between light and evil? It's like... I think you meant dark. Did you mean dark? You didn't script this, did you?
I think he meant light and L.
Oh, okay.
He was trying to make a Death Note reference and just failed miserably. Right. I seriously, it's funny because I went in thinking, okay, I've heard lots of good things about Spawn. Maybe this will be good. And the first intro, from the first intro on, everything that happened in this episode seemed totally cliched, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's a mob guy, and of course he's walking around in underwear with a couple, escorts sitting on the couch, and I'm like,
oh, that was a mob guy. I thought he drew me. Okay, that clears a lot of things up.
I'm gonna start calling you Tony Twist.
2020.
And
You know he got sued for that?
Did he really?
Yeah, yeah. His company, McFarlane Toys or whatever, went bankrupt over that.
Not
We'll
surprised.
we'll talk more about that later. That's a whole other story.
Oh wow. And then like everything that happened, like he digs himself up and he's like, "What's going on? You're
Clawing
me,
into
and
toss.
we're us, and everything's the same." And it's like,
Oh,
"We're calling you
how-
Spawn because you're a hell spawn." I'm
yeah,
like,
okay. That's so creative. Do you like how he's at also okay, because we've got to pile on all of the, really dark, sharp, edgy stuff. He was a Marine Scout sniper, heavily decorated, and then later he was a CIA agent and an assassin.
it's like this is what like a 12-year-old kid writes.
Yes, and he was 23. Wait, what?
Yeah, he did an awful lot in 5 years.
Oh, oh, okay.
He's just that good. He accomplished more in 5 years than most men accomplish in a lifetime.
He's just so like off-putting to everyone around him. Like these homeless people that are in this alley that he appears in. They seem relatively like just trying to help him out. Like, hey, buddy, what's going on? There's a bunch of people live here. It's not the greatest area. Leave me alone. Shut up. Get out of my way. All right, man. I was just letting you know we share everything. We get along. Got like a whole community thing going on. I'm gonna murder you. Okay, I guess whatever. Don't talk to him. I don't know. He's weird.
And I love that there's like a church, a giant church, right by this that he just perches himself on. Like, I'm the Batman. I mean, I'm Spawn, and I'm watching
Oh my God, you're right.
homeless
Right.
alleyway because lots of mob murders happen here.
In this particular, you'd think there'd be a little bit more police presence if there were shootings happening in this particular alley that often, or murders in general. I mean, that's a that would I would start seeing that and think, I don't wanna be a conspiracy theorist, but I think the mob's using this alley for their hits.
And if I was a reporter and someone said, "I'll meet you in this alley,"
Let's go to Murder Alley. I'm sorry, what?
why
That's
do they
like
call
that's
it?
like Batman's crime alley.
Yeah. What happens there? A lot of murders? Nah, they sell ice cream.
Right. God.
And then, of course, you have Tony Twist, his boss, or not his boss, but some higher person. He's
Someone.
working for the government. He's got a open credit with the Department of Defense because I'm like, what on earth am I watching right now? Is this
Right.
really what so many people adore? Is this a beloved character by millions of people? What
I
am I
think-
missing?
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said it sounds like something that was written by a 12-year-old. I couldn't agree more. It's so weird and unresearched, and it's like literally just the first thing that must have popped into his head. And I don't know. Again, I don't really know what they were going for, other than Batman wasn't brutal enough. So I talked to my best friend Zachary Snyder, and he gave me some pointers.
And of course, he has a chain. No other characters have a chain like that. They
Ghost
use.
Rider.
Wait, what'd you say?
But nothing.
Oh, okay, good.
My
And
throat's a little. Gotta take a drink.
it's like everything that happened on the show irked me. I'm just like watching, like, oh, what? You got to be kidding me! And then in the
first
second
episode also felt like a huge nothing burger. I'm glad that we're doing this in chunks, because trying to break down and review just the first episode, we'd be like, I don't know, he came back, threw the lid off his coffin, and a clown monologued. That's it.
and he really misses his wife, who is now being. And your best friend is giving it to your lover.
Right.
I mean, it looked like they were married and happy and had a kid.
Yeah, they were.
It's just me. If I died and I somehow in 5 years came back and my wife was married to one of my friends and happy, I would be very happy for her. I would not think like, I can't believe he did that to me. I'm dead. What do I care?
Right?
I would want her to be happy. I would want everyone to be happy. It's like,
And okay, here's the other thing. Even if he were to somehow get back together with his wife, he's pulled off his mask. He's a corpse.
yeah.
He knows this. Trying to figure out how that would work.
Like, and then of course, there's in the second episode, not only did we get that great scene with, was it Jason or whatever, talking to that senator, you're running for president.
Oh, yeah.
Who takes me out of my hotel room while I'm on a woman and pulls me into a car, then into a helicopter, now onto a ship? Who does that? Oh,
Right.
oh, sir, I didn't know you were there. I heard that you said you're not going to run for president. How did you hear that? I didn't even tell my wife. And I'm like,
I loved that. I loved that scene, by the way. He was like, I can never run for president. I've got a lot of skeletons in my closet. Buddy, it turns out that doesn't matter.
yeah. And I'm going to open that door if you don't. Do you understand me? I'm like, good God, this is so lax. Any subtlety does
Right.
not.
Oh, man.
I'm
Oh,
really,
boy.
it's funny because as much as I did not like these two episodes, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. I mean, are they going to just keep getting worse? Or are they going to manage to somehow find something that has a bit of entertainment in it after, I mean, this in the second episode when, the Violator's like, you're going to start, doing our deeds and hell on earth. It's a battle between heaven and hell. And then he turns into that monster and he like beats up Spawn. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's really dark and edgy. He better do what that weird demon clown says, or
the dead corpse dude who we have seen healed from bullet wounds. Yeah, we better. Oh man, we're really worried about what the clown demon is gonna do to us.
we want you to do violence and evil in the name of hell. Oh, okay. Just violence? Cool. I guess I'll get that underway. Kicks over a garbage can.
And then, of course, we've got a friggin' wizard that has to tell him, "Hey, maybe don't do bad stuff."
This is a battle
Thanks, Church
between
Wizard.
heaven and hell. Get to the point. And as much as I love Keith David,
Yes.
his talents were wasted on this series.
Yeah. Oh, I know. What a shame. Do you want to hear one better?
I do.
Okay, so, Spawn is still like an ongoing IP, right? There's still characters and figures and everything else, dealing with Spawn. There was a live action movie that apparently did really good at the theater. I've never seen it. But I guess in 2009, Todd McFarlane was saying, he's already got completed scripts. He wants to revitalize Spawn and make a brand new animated series. And it's not going to be the same as the old one. It's going to be a brand new story with Spawn. But Keith David is attached to also voice Spawn again. And also Mark Hamill is supposed to be a part of this.
Well, please don't, Mark.
Now-
Paper I got him to be Violator.
Again, this is 2009 that he said this. And we are in the year of our Lord 2025?
So it's coming out this year. Did we? Oh, I think when we saw what's on Max this year, in between The Last of Us and something else, they said Spawn with Keith David.
That must be what it is. Okay.
I'm sorry,
all
not
right.
Spawn. Todd McFarlane's
Spawn. Oh my gosh. Oh, Lord.
There was, I really am trying to think of anything outside of Keith David's voice that was good in any of this. And I can't think of anything. And, you made a good point before we came on. You said maybe for the late 90s when it came out, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it. I'm like trying to imagine. I'm like has this been done to death since then? No, this is just like
No, not really.
poor writing. Just and one of the things I've never. I've liked Todd McFarlane's art. When he came on and started doing
Yeah, sure.
Spider-Man, I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting. It's different. I kind of like it. You don't have to let
back.
you don't
Keep
have to let artists write scripts. And I think that was a big no-no. We got that with Todd McFarlane. We got that with Rob Liefeld. We got that with a bunch of different, talented artists who decided they wanted to start writing their own scripts. And there is just because you can draw something well doesn't mean you can write something well. And the fact that Spawn is as popular as it is, after now seeing something, just boggles my mind. I mean, before we started watching this, when we put our little poll online and people picked us to watch this, I'm like, oh man, maybe I'll have to pick up some Spawn comics and check it out and see what's going on. But oh my God, I'm not ever going to do that. I will definitely pick up Invincible comics at some point and read them. But after watching these 2 episodes, no desire to ever read a Spawn comic. Ever.
Yeah, same. I'm pretty sure that so some of the interviews and stuff that I've read about Todd McFarlane, it sounds like his primary issue with because he worked for both DC and Marvel, going back and forth, working on different stories. You had mentioned that he did some work on Amazing Spider-Man. So you had brought up an excellent point that sometimes artists don't need to be writers. And he was a really good artist for Amazing Spider-Man. But do you know what his storylines that he wanted to do in that book?
I don't. Please tell me.
Oh, you are gonna love this, Keith. Oh, I thought you knew about this. Okay, so one of his grand ideas. Hear me out. All right, I'm Todd McFarlane, and I've got great edgy ideas. We're gonna bring Spider-Man back, and he's gonna be awesome. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You remember the Lizard?
Oh yeah, wonderful villain. I mean,
Great
tragic. I mean, a
so
scientist who turns into this thing because he's trying to regenerate his arm. Great character. He probably has great plans
Okay.
for him.
What if we forget about the whole science thing? He's just a monster now, okay? And just a big lizard monster. Oh, you know what? That's probably not good enough. It doesn't really explain why he's rampaging, why Peter Parker needs to, fight him as Spider-Man. All right. You remember Calypso? You know who Calypso is, right?
Oh yeah.
Craven the Hunter is famous girl. Okay, remove Craven from this entire scenario. We've got Calypso. Now she's a voodoo witch queen. And she casts a spell on the lizard. And so now he's evil. And dark and brooding and full of spikes, and he's a dinosaur instead. Yeah, he's not a lizard, he's a dinosaur now. Spider-Man has to fight him, and Calypso has to punch her, because we punch women in my dark, brooding comic, and Spider-Man is gonna kill. He has to kill the lizard, yeah. Oh, is that not doing it for you? Okay, great. All right. Got it. Okay, you need classic Spider-Man. Good.
Oh yeah,
good.
yeah.
Green Goblin.
Yes.
Classic Spider-Man
Love that
villain. Great. He's a possessed demon now.
He's no longer like Norman Osborn. He didn't create.
Wait, who? Norman? I don't know who that is.
Oh. So
Possessed demon.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That
So when
seems-
can I start writing the stories for these books?
Let me check our schedule. Let's see. We got a 16-year-old writing for the next 8 years. So
when I was reading about it, I'm like, I can see why Marvel was like, hard pass. But yeah, that was one of the prime things that drove his huge temper tantrum to leave Marvel and take a bunch of people with him. His main argument was creators need more creative control. He felt that because he was drawing Spider-Man, therefore it gave him the rights to choose what was done with the character, how he spoke, what was written, what his stories were, and that nobody else should be allowed to direct that. So he wanted to make, his own characters. He wanted to sort of give this right over to these other comic book creators. And if you draw a character, you get to choose what he does and what he says and all of his stories and everything. Complete creative control. That was his huge argument. That was his huge blow up with Marvel and DC. They wouldn't let him make his Dark Edgelord stories.
Thank God. That is, I mean,
I haven't even read what he, what any story plans he might have had for DC were, but that was what I'd read about, Spider-Man. I'm like, huh? Why though? What the? And I imagine that, because this is public information now. How many people who are, constantly they're praising Spawn, they're huge fans of Todd McFarlane. Again, I like his art. I just think he's a little weird of an individual, of a person. But how many people heard that and said, "Oh, we need that"? And you know why I know that there were people that were like that? Because we still have, to this day, people moaning and complaining about James Gunn making a new Superman movie before Zack Snyder.
Yeah, no, you're right. And once again, I know people you guys just don't like this, demon stuff. No, I love Ghost Rider. I love Blade.
Yeah.
All these supernatural stories. If they're done well, I'm all for them. This was trying
presentation.
Yeah, this was trying so hard to coin a phrase to be edgelord that every little thing was like, it's as dark and as gritty as it can possibly be. Yeah. And there's this, and there was no character development at all in these first 2 episodes. There was zero likability outside of some of the homeless people. The one homeless guy who was like, hey, we all share stuff here, and we don't care, and get away from me. It's like, okay, this is just a wonderful little story of a antisocial hell spawn.
Yeah, right. No, I didn't understand. I did, but I didn't. It was like I kind of figured I got where he was coming from, like what he was trying to do. It's just like, again, maybe the 90s audience that was the prime, type of people that you market this thing to. Like, oh yeah, man, everything's edgy and gritty in the 90s, and we gotta have radical and all that other stuff. I can see that. I get that, but it just, oh man, it doesn't work today. I assume it must have been great back then. But it's just not something I don't even think back then I would have watched it though.
No, I wouldn't have either. And I think it could have worked a lot better if like this was like our issue with the Acolyte when, a Jedi kills himself because he's like, oh, the thing we did back in the day on that thing. And then you go back and it's like they were defending themselves. Yeah. And they're that like he's a tortured soul. Oh my God. My wife is remarried and has a kid. I couldn't give her a kid. Okay. There's a lot of other things you could probably do. He should probably, if truly was the love of his life, he should be, wow, she seems happy. She has the kid she always wanted. I couldn't be there for her, but I'm happy for her. A tortured individual is someone, maybe he was framed for murder and everyone thinks he's a murderer and he wants to clear his name, something along those lines. It's like everything that's going on in this series, I'm like, okay, that's doesn't seem very tortured to me. I don't care about any of these characters. And that's always the thing for me. Do I care about any of these characters? Not a one.
No.
It's like
they make it. They do. They truly make it so hard to care about these characters. I was struggling to because, first off, our main character, Spawn, or what is his real name again?
Al something. Oh. Al Simmons.
Al Simmons. Born in Detroit, Michigan. Really? Okay, that I didn't know. Officer. Highly decorated officer in the U.S. Marine Corps. Attaining the rank of lieutenant colonel while serving with Force Recon. He later joined the Secret Service too. Then he was recruited by the CIA. Wow, I missed the whole Secret Service part.
I didn't get that either.
Then he was recruited by the CIA. Then he joined the U.S. security group, an umbrella agency encompassing the CIA, NSA, and that's not a thing. That doesn't happen. And becomes a capable assassin. Sure. Okay, buddy. Right.
And all of
So,
this by 25, because becoming a lieutenant
how
colonel in
am
the
I
United
supposed to
States
care about
Marine
this
Corps,
dude?
you don't. And that once again, terrible writing. Just having a backstory for a character that's supposed to be your protagonist or antagonist.
Now, uh, yeah. What is the word for a protagonist that's a dick?
Yeah, I mean, you don't like him. He's not like
Yeah,
somebody
he's not likable.
you would
And
hope.
okay, I wanted to bring up a comparison
Okay,
of how you can make this type of character because Spawn isn't the only type of character like this where we've got somebody, basically making this weird fan fiction. Now it can be done two of different ways. All right. You can have your weird, goofy edgelord thing. I'm sorry, no, three different ways, I guess. You have your weird, goofy edgelord thing like what we got here in Spawn. Or you can, have your more where they've got all of these, they're this and this and this and this, but you develop the character and you make all of that matter into who they are. So my prime example that I wanted to tell you was Sabine Wren. So think about her from Rebels. They kind of introduce her to us. She's a rebel, but she's also like a Mandalorian princess, and she's an artist, and she's also can wield the dark saber. And so they're piling all these things on her. And if you would have left it at that and had like somebody just explain it, like Hera, spell all of this out in an episode, and also say, oh, and her dick don't work or something. I don't know, like. Like,
or
I
could
mean,
it be like a ICP clown demon to
right,
explain it
yeah.
all?
Yes, and if you would have had that, I would have been like, okay, but no, instead, all of this mattered throughout Rebels, where it applied to her character. Now, so far, I haven't seen that. Like, we've only watched 2 episodes, so hopefully it matters later on and this makes a difference, but it doesn't sound like it's going to. It sounds like he would have been Spawn regardless of whatever weird made up backstory they gave him. But yeah, with Sabine Wren, you show her, yes, she's an artist, but she's using it as part of the rebellion. She's using it as part of her everyday thing. She's fighting as a rebel because of her backstory of what she did on Mandalore. She's regretful for it. And yeah, she is from a noble house on Mandalore, but she has stepped away from all of that again because of this invention that she had made that had killed so many of her brethren, and she feels that she needs to come back from that. So like what you were saying, if they would have had a backstory where maybe he was framed for murder and he's just trying to redeem his own name. This is what Sabine was doing. She's trying to redeem her own name,
Yep.
bring something back to it. And then they show her training and learning how to use the dark saber, and then she eventually earns it the right way. She fights in a battle the way the Mandalorian would, and not only she doesn't just hand it the dark, she earns the dark saber. And this is proper character growth, and it's showing how all these weird stacked up achievements on a person can matter. Or or you go full parody with it and you make your person a complete edgelord, but it's a wink wink joke, and you and the audience are aware of this. That's not what Spawn is doing. I wish that was the case. Spawn is like Madam Web. I think everybody involved with Madam Web was taking it seriously when they made that, and it turned out to be a complete joke and comedy for us. And that's how I feel. I think that's what's going to end up happening with Spawn. I think at the end of the day, by the time we're done watching this first season, I truly do think it's going to be just a comedy because it's so goofy and over the top that you just laugh at the ridiculousness.
Yep. Everything is like he's the harshest gangster around. He's got controls of senators, and these senators are cheating on their
Right.
wives, and they've got skeletons in their closet. I'm like, oh my god.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Hey, there's Dave.
Hey everybody.
Hey, David.
What are you guys talking about?
Talking
Dave,
about Spawn.
Dave, let me ask you, David, do you know the difference between good and evil?
Nope.
And Dave,
No,
what would you do if you died and 5 years later you came back and your best friend was giving it to your lover? What would you do, Dave? Would you understand the difference between light and not light?
Would you
Are you
understand the
trying?
difference between light and L?
He was he was really just trying to set up the episodes, guys. I mean, come on, give him a break. He was trying to be over dramatic, and he came off a little douchey.
A
So
little.
Okay, well, now we found the target audience.
Peter Douchey? Oh,
Yeah. Um, yeah, we're talking Spawn, Dave. Did you watch him?
What did you think of the
I did.
episodes, Dave?
I thought that the forwards that he did, actually just you didn't need to watch the show after that. He pretty much said what was going to happen on the show, and then it happened. Did somebody else say that? Is that why you're laughing?
No, well, I mean we kind of did, but it was just like,
You're not wrong.
why is this guy on here talking about it, and why does he have to constantly say, "I'm Todd McFarlane, the creator
of
of
Spawn."
Spawn."
You know what?
Spawn.
It's very much like the Twilight Zone, or what other show, or like Unsolved Mysteries, where you have some cryptic dude at the beginning of the show telling you what's going to happen. Imagine a space and time, and then boom, it happens in front of you. I do like Keith David being the Spawn's voice.
We did like that too. He is good as the voice. Excellent choice, by the way, for the voice. I was telling Keith, I don't know if you were watching at all, but I was telling Keith that Todd McFarlane did have plans to reboot the Spawn animated series, but he was going to go with like change up the story a bit. I assume probably bring it more into the modern era or whatever. But Keith David was attached to reprise his role as the voice of Spawn. And he is also supposedly supposed to have had Mark Hamill in as well. Keith suggested possibly he was going to be the Violator clown. I hadn't even considered that, but that's probably, I could see that. That makes
I can
sense.
see Mark Hamill doing that.
Yeah.
It would probably be better than the guy we got in this show.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
What
Let me tell
do
you
you
what you
mean,
just.
man?
Let me tell you what you just watched, man. See, Spawn's a tortured soul. He's a hell spawn, so we call him Spawn. See,
It's Danny DeVito in animation, in animated form.
That's good. Yes.
Danny DeVito should sue.
Oh,
Danny
sorry.
DeVito should.
Us?
No, not us. Them. Definitely not
Speaking-
us. We'll give you a Jersey Mike's, man.
Speaking
Not much
of
was on.
lawsuits,
Okay.
so I had promised you that I was going to tell you a little bit about what what kind of drove, for at least a little while, kind of the end of Todd McFarlane's like toy and Spawn empire, at least for a bit. He ended up having to claim bankruptcy after it all, but there was a I don't know how far back this goes, but there was a not R&B, what is it? A blues. There was a blues artist who went by the name of Tony Twist. Apparently very famous. I have never heard of the guy, but apparently he was famous enough where by Todd McFarlane using the name Tony Twist for his mobster and the fact that he was such a horrifying, well, he looked like me, but whatever, The fact
I'm
that he was
walking
this
around in my
horrifying
underwear on
mob
the
boss
phone
guy, yeah.
with some escorts on the couch. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
hardcore, guys.
I'm wearing pants, totally.
Is there a couple
but-
escorts on your couch making out?
Shh. No. But yeah, no. So the actual living Tony Twist was like, hey, you can't do that. Todd was like, we know there's a distinct term that I can use your name, and he's like, no, you really can't. Sued him for $5 million. No, sued him for like I think $12 million. They ended up having to settle out of court for $5 million. But yeah, so Short story, that's essentially what happened. It drained him of all of his money, but he does want to bring back the Spawn series. Again, he had mentioned this in 2009. There hasn't been any word on it yet. I don't know if he's going to try and work with HBO again, or if because Invincible has been good on Amazon, if he's going to try and reach out to them. I'm not sure, but again, it's 2025 now. Who knows where this is going? The last we heard of it, the last that I could find anyway, in doing research was in 2011. He mentioned that it was still that he had all of the sketches done and the script work done. So he just needed an animation studio.
And shockingly, no one has picked it up.
No one has picked it up.
Well, I did like the animation. I thought it was kind of.
Oh yeah, no, I thought the animation was pretty good. Again, so when I first saw it, I don't know if either of you guys saw any of the cartoons from the 90s, like the Men in Black cartoon or the Extreme Ghostbusters or Jumanji. It reminded me very much of that art style. It looked almost identical to it. I don't know if it was the same studio, but they did say that some of the people that worked on Eon Flux worked on this. And I could see that because some of the animation was pretty darn good. I also read some articles that said that it actually got better in season 2. They had a different animation studio for both season 2 and season 3. Apparently season 3 wasn't that great, but season 2, everybody claims, is the best season.
And it won an Emmy for season 2, which I saw that. I'm like, oh,
yes.
Which was one of the things I'm like, this is probably going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to it.
Now,
not so good.
You want to know one of the other things that changed about season 2?
No Todd McFarlane introduction.
Well, actually, that I don't know. I didn't check to see, but HBO took a little bit more creative control. They apparently read the scripts for season 2, said, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Had a bunch of rewrites done, ended up putting it forward. Todd McFarlane was trying to complain and say, yeah, but all the animation's already done. They're like, why would you already do the animation before getting the scripts looked over? That's insane. And I guess they found a way to make it work. They had to reuse some material. But I guess at the end of the day, it looked good enough anyway, even after all of that. And yeah, like you said, it won an Emmy.
Emmy for what?
Best
animation?
Voice acting by Keith David.
That would work.
I could see that.
That would work. I could see that, yeah. Was that movie that he was in with Roddy Piper, you know what I'm talking about? Was that called They Live?
Yes, it was They Live.
Okay. I was talking to Sierra about it today, and she said, that's not the name of that movie. I'm like, yes, it is. But yeah, that was the scene with him and Roddy Piper in the longest fight scene in movie history. 20 freaking minutes.
Was that the inspiration for Peter versus the Chicken and Family Guy?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, outstanding animated program for programming more than 1 hour, 1999.
More than 1
that's
hour.
what it won.
Like for the series or for the
for
each
the
episode?
series, for like the season, I think.
I think the episodes were only half an hour each, but okay.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you're right. These ones were.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they extended later on.
Should we rate these episodes, gentlemen?
Sure.
Because I don't know if there's much more to talk about. Unless Dave has something. We sort of ripped on everything that pretty much happened. And
yeah, you know what? Maybe Dave can borrow some silver lining. Keith isn't using it.
Yeah.
Well, all I'm saying is I watched both episodes, and before both episodes ended, I fell asleep. So I had to go back and watch certain parts of these episodes. So, it didn't really keep my attention at parts. At some parts it did, but I didn't hate it, more largely due to maybe Keith David. And before I even saw an episode, I saw Keith's Slack message about him being a total douche. I'm like, all right, can't wait to see what he's talking about. And it was just like Rod Serling. That's the Rod Serling moment. And he is like, yeah, he's just like, I'm awesome. Watch my show. So, yeah, I still liked it though. Well, like is a strong word. I didn't hate it. So I'm going to give it a 4.5. So for the first 2 episodes, let's see if it goes up from here.
I can go next. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gabe.
This started out bad with Todd McFarlane's monologuing and didn't really improve. And like Keith David doing the voice acting was good. No one else on that show was memorable in any way. All of the characters were complete cliches. They were about as, deep as a paper plate. And I'm just watching this and I'm getting like, I didn't look at my phone, not because I was like, wow, this is so good. I'm like, is this real? Did someone really write this thinking this was like quality, deep, memorable dialogue and characters and everything else? And, the whole tormented soul because his wife, found someone and had a kid with after he died. Oh my God. The horror. I'm like, just cannot believe it. And then episode 2, and I will say, episode 2 was a little better than episode 1, only because there was less, insane clown posse demon telling me everything that happened. It wasn't as explained as much to me through dialogue, but it was still like every character is just a piece of garbage. Like the senator, you got me off that woman, into a car, onto a helicopter, onto the ship. Do you know who? Oh, Mr. Jason. Oh, I didn't see you standing there. You've got skeletons in the closet. Now I'm going to open the door. And I'm just like, who is writing this? It really felt like a 12-year-old boy wrote both of these episodes. There was very little outside of Keith David and some of the animated work, because the animation did look pretty good, especially some of the Spawn stuff. But honestly, out of those 2 things, I find nothing else redeeming at all out of this, and I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Hello, everyone. Subscribe to Dr. Sasquill. Got it?
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah,
Dr.
thanks.
Sasquill is awesome. Please subscribe.
Thanks,
Subscribe
buddy.
to him on YouTube and Twitch. And Twitch. YouTube and Twitch. Right.
And TikTok.
And TikTok.
Thanks, buddy.
Wait, also Instagram if you can.
That's right. Thanks, buddy. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks, Steve.
Well, guys, you get a hug.
Okay, don't knock over my webcam, though, buddy.
All right,
So
Doug,
I can see that
tear
he
it
enjoyed
apart.
Spawn.
Yeah.
Tear it apart, Doug.
Oh boy. What's to say that Keith hasn't already said? Yeah, I also wasn't. I was kind of taken aback by the intro. I thought at first, Dave, I really did think like you. I'm like, oh, okay, it's kind of like a Twilight Zone, Unsolved Mysteries, or what was that show that? I think it might have been like a reboot of Twilight Zone or something like that. I don't remember, but yeah. Oh no, Ripley's Believe It or Not. I was like, oh, maybe it's something like that. It's one of these type of shows. But then Todd McFarlane starts talking, and I don't think he really had it scripted out. I think he was just sort of talking off the dome, and it seemed like he was attempting to lay out the plot of the episode, and then went on this weird sort of awkward philosophical thing. I don't really know what he was going for, but yeah, you can kind of get sort of what the episode is about, and in both cases, in both of the episodes, not much happened. As nice as the animation looked, not a lot happened with it. We go through the first episode, and the main thing is we're introduced to Al Simmons, who becomes the Hellspawn, or Spawn. And, he's confused. And then at one point it says, when Hellspawn are sent back to Earth, their memories are erased. And then it follows that up immediately by saying, but they can use their past history. It's like, okay, you literally just said 5 seconds ago that their memory is erased. How are they using their past experiences to help them be a better Hellspawn? Like, you really can't have both. But okay, maybe that's a nitpick. All right, whatever, I'm overthinking it. Cool, let's keep watching the show. Okay, he's sad. He's really sad. He's really confused, and he's a dick to homeless people. Great. Okay. And then it's like he goes and he's sad about his wife, and then he digs up his corpse and puts his ring on, and I'm pretty sure that was the first episode. Or maybe that was the second, and they all kind of
That was
blend
really
together.
romantic.
No, that was the first.
I mean-
the second was,
Okay.
remember, it was the clown turning into its true
Right,
form
right.
to
Okay.
show him he's got to do hell's bidding.
Yes.
And you know
So
what's
in the-
form?
So also in the first episode, we're introduced to Tommy Twist, Tommy Twist, we'll call him that, legally distinct, not a blues singer.
I think he actually changed his
Introduced to
name to
him.
Tommy Two Tone.
Tommy Twist.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I mean something else.
It's 675.
Teen Titan. Wait, crap, that's already been used too. But no, so we're introduced to this. We know that there's a lot of other stuff going on. It's assumed that something horrible happened. To our retired Marine Scout Sniper Recon CIA NSA super agent assassin guy. Somehow, someone got the better of him. Somebody who was a 4-star general in the Marine Corps, obviously, a little bit more higher ranked than him, so he had more experience. But took him out, and then they explain in there, or rather, the Violator explains, because he's the one that tells us everything. We're not really shown as much as we should have. Instead, we've got the clown just kind of standing there explaining the backstory to us, or to him rather, and then us as the audience, we are hearing the clown tell Spawn his own backstory about how he was this super assassin. The devil really liked what he saw, and he really found a good use for him. And these are the type of people that this devil looks for, and so he should count himself lucky. And, really, you didn't go back on his deal. You did get to see your wife after all. He tells him this like multiple times, like that's going to make things better. And yeah, he technically saw his wife remarried with a kid, because it turns out he's been dead for 5 years. So, in like genie rules, the devil kept his end of the bargain, technically speaking. And he's very sad about it, so he has to dig up his own corpse. We also find out that, so I guess when he got sent back, he was sent back into the dead body of another guy, which, if you're going to put him in a dead body, I don't get why you wouldn't put him in it. If you liked what he was capable of, why wouldn't you put him back in his own, whatever. Again, I'm thinking too hard about this. I guess it doesn't matter, but yeah, so he keeps the mask on specifically because he's a rotting corpse face.
But he hides, remember, he has a mid-cap.
Oh yeah, and then he puts a beanie on top of the mask. Right. Forgot about that.
Wonder Woman 1984 vibes, man.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You're
not
right.
wrong.
You are not wrong at all. And so, like, I'm watching all of this, and I'm like, I am so glad that we agreed to, review 2 episodes, because what happened? I don't think anything really happened. I was just, a clown told Spawn that, his name is Spawn, and here's why. And then Spawn was a dick to a homeless guy. I'm like, oh, all right. Next episode, I guess. Watch the next episode. It opens up with the homeless guy saying, hey, we all get along around here. We look out for each other. You want a drink? I'll get you a drink. You need anything? Leave me alone. Get out of my way. Oh, all right, man. I told people that you would be like this, not to talk to you. Get out of my way. I'll come to you when I want something. All right, fine, man. It's cool. I've got to go hang out in this cross and brood. You do you, man. I'm like, oh, that's how we're opening up this episode. Got it. Okay, after the the Todd McFarlane telling us how what would you do if your best friend did it to your lover? I don't know, man. It hasn't happened to me yet.
The one thing I like to, not to interrupt, he's like, I see things in shades of gray, but every character is miserable on the show.
Yes.
It's not shades of gray.
They're all the worst. I mean, except for his wife. She seems perfectly happy. She's the only, and so of course her life has to be ruined at some point. I'm waiting for that, because she's too happy and too fulfilled. Everything is good with her life. But yeah, so and then like I said, I'm watching the second episode, and it's really a little bit more of the same. We get, a little bit more about Tommy Twist and his mob dealings, and we get a little bit more about this other bigger guy that's ordering Tommy Twist around and how they're trying to get this politician in to act as a puppet, and Spawn is still a dick, and then the clown turns into an alien from Men in Black, and he beats up Spawn a little bit, but like, I mean, we literally just saw Spawn heal from Bullet, so okay, he's gonna be fine. Doesn't even need a he probably already healed like immediately, but I don't know, he needed a nap. So yeah, not a lot happened in either episode. Like the third one started, and I was like, "Oh," it was one of those like, huh? The episode's over. All right. So like, I didn't straight up fall asleep, but it bored me. There was nothing worth going back. Maybe the comics are better. I don't know. I haven't read the comics either, and I hate to say it, but I haven't even seen the live action movie. I'm assuming that. Maybe I wasn't the target audience for this. I really don't know, because I was aware of Spawn. I had heard of him, but I never sought out to read the comics. Like, I'd seen the figures. I'd seen all the demon. Very intricate. I will say this, for the company that produced those figures, outstanding job. They look great. Awesome collectibles. Very detailed. I love them. And again, like I said, some of the art style was really good in the animation. I'm told that it gets even better in season 2. So I wouldn't mind checking that out. Maybe the comics look good too. I don't know. I haven't read them. I have heard also, I read in an article that the live action movie did amazing. Apparently did really good at the box office. So also good on him for that.
John Leguizamo was in it. What do you expect?
John Leguizamo was in Super Mario Brothers, Dave.
Well, I'm sure he did well.
I'm sure he got paid well for his role.
Yeah.
He said he was drunk the entire time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe the comics are better. Maybe the live action movie is even better than that. And again, I've heard that season 2 gets even better. So I don't know. So far, these first 2 episodes, I'm not impressed. I'm giving it a 2.5.
So I was the high one on this one, and that was because I decided not to go.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. I decided not to go hypercritical, thinking maybe it'll pick up, but
maybe.
I am hoping it picks up, Dave. You weren't
Yeah.
here when we talked about it. There's a lot of people that like this. It really can't get worse. It was so just incredibly cliched throughout both episodes, and I'm like, is there anything new going to happen, or anything that makes it stand out as like a character that is so beloved? I'm like, I don't understand the love for this character. So I am hoping, because like I said, episode 2 was a little better than 1. The plot flowed a little better than episode 1, because episode 1 just seemed complete mishmash to me. I'm like, am I supposed to know what's going on at this point? It's like they're introducing, here's some, news reporters and this guy, and then
kill them all.
Yeah, the cop shows up, who's like, what's his name from Gotham?
Bullock.
Bullock, yeah.
Yeah,
and
worse. He was worse Bullock.
Yes. And he's got like a little sidekick. He's like, give me
some with chocolate sprinkles. 2 dozen, sir? No, half that. I'm on a diet. So you're going to eat a dozen donuts. Sure, man.
And is that guy, is he Alberto Falcone? That's what he looks like to me.
It might be. It seems like he stole a lot of things from the Batman universe to populate this. And
yeah, he worked on a lot of these comics, both DC and Marvel, before helping to found Image. So that's very possible. And I think I'd have to double check. I don't remember for sure, so don't quote me on it, but I think some of the people that were involved with the Batman animated series also worked on this. So I wouldn't be too surprised.
Hold on, I'm sending out a tweet. Doug said the people from Batman the animated series worked.
Well, you know what else? When the clown turns into his natural form, that's Frank. Isn't that Frank from Harley Quinn?
The plant? No.
Yes, looked like the plant to me.
I'm gonna have to look at it again.
Weird,
at first I was thinking Little Shop of Horrors. But
I don't remember it looking like I'd have to look it up again, because this might have been a phone moment for me.
Right. Oh, it's quiet. Don't need to look.
Right.
All right. Now we do have
Violator True Form.
Oh, Doug's going to look it up. I'll give you a minute to look it up. We do have something else for tonight, gentlemen.
Okay, I see why Dave said that. I mean, it definitely looks more like an alien from Men in Black, but the wide open mouth, I can kind of see why you would think it sort of resembles Frank. But I'm gonna drop this in the Slack chat just so you guys can see what his true form looks like.
Black chat.
Copy and boop.
Do we have a Spawn channel? No.
No, I wasn't sure if we were gonna keep going past season 1.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
A little bit.
I can
maybe,
see it,
perhaps.
yep. Once again, I don't think I was paying too much attention to what he looked like during the show.
I feel like in the cartoon he was crawling like on his back because he looked more flat in the cartoons. I don't think he was standing upright.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Who knows what standing upright by that thing looks?
True.
Knows what that looks like.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. But
All right. Are you guys ready for our next item?
Permitting?
okay. Hold on, Keith. If you're gonna give us the next item, can you at least explain it to us in like a really horrible gigolo accent? Can you do that? Can you?
Listen.
Yeah.
When there's a rebellion going on, there's good and evil. And I don't think you guys know the difference between good and evil. You may think you know the difference between good and evil, but what good and evil really is shades of gray. And it really goes without saying that these people being repressed are also evil. And the evil being done to them is just evil.
And it's evil.
I think you just said that word for word.
And the evility that's going on this show.
The ability. But I just see the graphic that you just put up, and now I'm excited because this is good. Are you gonna show us the trailer that recently dropped?
Oh, I definitely am. Are you gentlemen ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, I got my Star Wars shirt on.
I came with you to be part of something.
Gotta turn you up.
The Empire cannot win.
Face up.
It's a different kind of mission.
Is that Coruscant?
I think that was
It's
Coruscant
certain.
at the one point, yeah. I mean, I just love Diego Luna in that role. It's so nice, him like, we can't let the Empire win. And seeing Mon Mothma, obviously, in the Senate chambers. So something is going to be going on there. I'm sure it'll be more good guy Palps explaining, why his Secretary of Defense, tweeted out the plans to bomb Mandalore. And what happened.
Go for Papa Palpatine.
You get that feeling like they're up against something that's so huge, and it's, I don't know the right word, but it's like,
I can assure the Senate that it is a space station, not a Death Star, as people are calling it. That is the wrong name. We would never. Death Star, really? The fake news media is calling it. It is a space station.
and I'm sorry that the Secretary of Galactic Defense tweeted that out earlier about our Death Star plans.
It's the best space station. No one's ever built a space station like this one. And only I could think of it. Only I could have the master plan.
And let me assure everyone on Alderaan, even though this space station is moving towards your planet, you have nothing to worry about. It is bringing chips, sodas, and other things.
Paper towels in case you have a hurricane.
It's like a planetary Super Bowl party.
All right.
It's going to be a blast.
Are you guys ready for a little more?
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's go for more. Palpatine.
If it goes up in flames, it will burn very brightly.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. We have to. We will stand together. We will be crushed.
You know, you see just how everyone understands what they're getting into. Like, you know, we could be crushed and we're going to do this. We better win. You know, you see all the characters, like, understanding just how seemingly insurmountable what they're about to do is. And, man, everyone on the show is just such a good actor. And maybe it seems even better after watching Spawn. But I cannot wait for this. I am getting a movie, an Andor movie every week is going to feel like the greatest day, the greatest 4 weeks in a row, hopefully, that we've ever gotten.
I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. It's going to be amazing. I think we've mentioned this about Andor before when we've talked about it in the past, but every time they show the Empire in action, it's one of the best ways that Star Wars has gone about and shown the true might and evil of the Empire. I think one of the things that always bugged me about how they're shown in the past is, like, it doesn't seem plausible that this thing got to be in charge of the entire galaxy. Like, how would they hold power? They seem so, you know, dumb and, like, incapable of doing anything. And I like the fact that Andor is like, oh, no, they were really good at being tyrants. They were really good at, you know, oppressing all of these planets. And I think Mon Mothma, you know, talking about what they're doing to the Gormans, I think, you know, showing us the building of the Death Star. I think the ships hovering over the planets like watchdogs and people, like, looking up in fear, like, oh God, what are they here for now? That's the type of stuff that, you know, Star Wars should have been showing us all this time. And I love that, you know, Andor is doing this, that they're really making you like, oh yeah, they really are the bad guys. This is why we need to support the Rebel Alliance, because they need to stop these monsters.
Yeah, they really grabbed the gravity of the situation, I think,
Mm-hmm.
of common folk.
You are absolutely right, sir.
Ooh.
Absolutely right.
Thank you, I needed that.
Did you?
I did.
Resistance is absurd.
It's a weapon. They're building a weapon. The monster will come for us all.
Series.
Now, there was a lot of that there, you know. They're building a weapon. Resistance is, you know, futile, basically. All the good stuff. Now, I want you to look at the image on your screen right now.
Okay.
How many people think she is being force choked? And how many people think she's having a panic attack?
I go with panic attack.
I hope panic attack, because I don't want to see Darth Vader on this show.
I'm
Agreed.
almost positive they said that there wasn't going to be any Jedi or lightsabers.
They did. And I do think so many people saw the scene and were going crazy saying, we're getting Vader in Andor Season 2. I think she is realizing the gravity of the situation that she is in, and she is trying to get that tight, you know, collar off of her neck, because she is just absolutely having an anxiety attack.
Absolutely having.
Oh, I didn't mean to
anxiety
say that one, but yes.
You're keeping us well hydrated tonight.
I appreciate. I hope you all appreciate that. All right, back to
So one of the things that
Oh.
when I first saw this, one of the things that came to mind was maybe this is like a PTSD moment, because if you think back to Ferrix, she was really affected by that, affected in a very negative way too, to the point where she's kind of hiding in this room, and, you know, Cyril of all people, who's been stalking her, is the person that comes to her rescue.
Thank Barrick.
Right? And so, like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she was in over her head, and maybe this was more than she bargained for. Like, she was all in, like, oh, we're gonna catch them, and we're gonna weed these people out, and we're gonna torture people to find, get to the truth. But now it's starting to, like, fly back in her face a bit, and Yeah, I think I agree with what you just said. I think she's having a straight up panic attack, or the PTSD is getting to her.
I'm glad we all agree on that because I saw
At
the
least I
people
hope it is.
online saying, "Oh, Vader's force choking her." Sorry, people. Nah.
See, I don't think she's high ranked enough for that. Like, I don't see how and when Vader would interact with her.
No, 100% true. It would be like walking in on Yoda. You know, at the end. No, forget it.
Oh, now I'm just sad.
All right, let's continue.
Up to the same. You're right here, and you're ready to fight.
There's a future here for those who dare. Welcome to the rebellion.
I love seeing Saw Gerrera getting worked up, you know, and the siren getting louder and louder as the thing goes on and just building up, because that's how this series is going to be as it's building up closer to Rogue One. Just it's going to be more intense, more is on the line. They need to, you know, get those plans if they want any chance of the rebellion succeeding. Now, who do you think? Now, his mouth was not moving in that scene, but who do you think he is saying "Welcome to the Rebellion" to? Do you think?
I say Leia.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
I think it's going to be. Is her name Deidre, the one who had the?
Oh, her? Really?
I think she is going to flip, and I think she's going to realize, like throughout this, that she was wrong the whole time, and she is going to join the rebellion later on, and she's probably going to give the information that leads them to being able to get the Death Star plans.
Okay.
Well, he's already got a mole. Who's that mole guy? Who had that incredible speech when the guy said, you know.
Oh, the guy, the redhead dude with the mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his mole there.
I think he's going to.
I don't know that they would publicly welcome him into the rebellion though, because the whole point of him existing as part of the ISB. In fact, Stellan Skarsgård's character even says as much. You know, we've worked too hard getting you to where you are. That's why we have to give up this other rebel leader in order to keep you in your position. You're too important to us as you are. Therefore, you know, these sacrifices have to be made. I don't know that they would welcome him in because he may still be too important where he's at. Maybe if he gets burnt, like they figure him out, and then he has to hide, you know, with the rebels, maybe then, but I don't know.
Or is it Cyril? He's like, we've got cereal and blue milk fill you by the bucketfuls. I'm in, baby. I'm in.
Wait, so I don't have to live with my mother anymore? No, man, you don't. You're good. Oh boy.
We have enough blue Cocoa Puffs to choke a camel. So come on out.
That's all we have to eat.
Can I be a
Yay.
cop? We don't really have those, but you can pretend.
Wait until you try our red milk. All right.
I still laugh at that one episode of Andor where they give him the white milk, and that's disgusting in their world.
I mean, I would be disgusted by white milk if I had blue milk all the time, too. I'd be like, what is this?
Ugh.
Mom, what's with the white milk?
Ew, I think it's gone bad.
It's moving. Wait, let's finish it up.
April 22nd, less than a month away.
Oh, man. I can't wait.
You know, that trailer really showed us nothing. Little tidbits, but really nothing. We know nothing about any of the plots of any of the arcs on the show. And
I am so okay with that.
Me too. I loved seeing it. I got hyped for season 2, just seeing, you know, Diego Luna and Lucius and all the characters. So I'm glad they didn't reveal too much. I'm glad they didn't have, you know, any big this huge reveal like say like Red Hulk showing up in Captain America: Brave New World, which would have been better to keep it secret. So, we still got Daredevil Born Again for a few weeks, and then we'll be getting into Andor. It's good time, gents. Good time. And we still got 4 episodes of Spawn season 1.
I was gonna say I can't wait to watch Daredevil tonight. So it's 2 episodes with a bunch of Frank Castle. I'm sure it's gonna be cool.
Oh boy, can I watch both episodes tonight? Oh, I'm gonna have to try.
You'll know at the end of the first episode whether you can watch the second episode.
True.
That'll be the key. But it'll probably be, and now I have to watch it. That's okay.
Right.
I can't let this go.
Why were you late to work this morning? I ended up late watching Daredevil.
I wasn't late to work. You were late to work.
Doug, you work for a time clock company?
You're very much what I want.
I'm
not having a meeting till 10.
You don't know the difference between time and untime. Everything is time. And I was working on getting to work, so that's work. Doug, you're fired.
What is hammer time, and how does that differ from regular time?
Right. Okay. I, as a child, so you got to give me a little bit of leeway there. As a child, I loved the MC Hammer cartoon.
Well, that makes
the
one of
fact
us.
that he would yell hammer time and become a superhero, I thought that was awesome.
Well, everyone, Dave and I will be back next.
I'll see myself out.
And somehow he still went bankrupt. I don't understand.
Since you are much younger than this, I will not look down on you for. But then again, I never once saw the Hammer cartoon. It could have been entertaining. I mean, some of the stuff I watched as a kid probably
was the best stuff ever.
Yeah, you're right.
Every Saturday morning.
Captain Caveman and
Captain Caveman. I liked that cartoon too.
Come on, man.
When criminals in this world appear and break the laws that most men fear, a call goes out both far and near for underdog. Speed of lightning, roar of thunder. One of my favorite... I loved Scrubs. I don't know if you guys ever watched Scrubs. And I will never forget, there was the character, I think he was the accountant, and just a sad sack character. He was always...
Yes.
But he was in an a cappella group. And I remember one time, like, JD and Dr. Cox were walking by, and they were doing the underdog theme. And I was like, I have got to get a recording of that. That was the best song I've ever heard in my life. And on next week's stream, we'll be playing. I did. They had it. It was online.
Nice. I did that with, there's a show called The Rookie.
Is that with Nathan Fillion?
Much. Yeah, it's with Nathan Fillion.
Okay.
I don't know much about it other than the fact that he plays a police officer and he is training a new rookie cop, and I assume it's like any other TV cop drama. But there was this one episode where they're called for a noise disturbance, and this garage band is playing a song that ends up being known on the internet as Cop Cutie. And they're singing to him and his rookie. They're like, cop cuties on duty. Baby blue booty, go ahead and lock me up, arrest me, make it sexy, arrest me. It's like, and it was a legit good song, and the thing was like they had made it up there on the spot, and it was like just little snippet, maybe like less than a minute long, and it was so popular that they ended up making a full recorded version, and people loved this song so much. People that didn't even watch the show loved this scene and loved the song so much, they ended up in the most recent season brought this garage band back and had them sing a more full-length version of it. Had a church choir off to the side, and Nathan Fillion just stand there like, I don't like this noise. I'm a grumpy goose. And his rookie's just like, and she.
I think that show's been on for a long time. That Rookie is
It did.
still
It went longer than any song in a show should have done. Should have gone on for. But
No,
it's
been on for 8 years, yes, and he's no
has
longer.
the show been on for that long?
Yes.
I did not know.
Now
that.
he's a training officer. I don't know what they call him on the show, but and he's got a rookie. I think they're just focused on the rookie class every year. But they have they have one, that main girl on the show. Her name is Melissa O'Neill, which is because her name on the show is Chen, because she looks, Asian.
Okay.
And so I looked her up, and that was her name, Melissa O'Neill, which was kind of strange. But that show, it has some really good actors on it, and it has some really bad actors on it. And you'll be able to tell if you watch an episode.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should check it out.
Of course, Nathan Fillion's the good side of it.
Yeah. Generally, I don't like, TV cop drama shows. They're fine, but they're not really my my cup of tea. I've seen enough CSI, NCIS, Cold Case, all that stuff. They're fine. It's not really, my thing. But Nathan Fillion is a good actor, and I do love that song to the point where I even added it to my Spotify playlist because I liked the song so much.
Well, then I bet you can't wait for the Lantern series.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, the fact that it's got my favorite Green Lantern in it might make it more watchable. It is weird that they're kind of labeling it as a like a detective buddy cop show. I don't understand that idea. Maybe I missed the Green Lantern comics where they were on the beat on Earth or something.
You have to admit that first image release of just Hal and John walking down the street, I mean, hype level is through the roof. They're going to be walking down a street together, you guys. That's Hal Jordan and John Stewart.
Now, were they wearing their costumes? No, but were their rings glowing? Also no, but they were wearing them, so that's a start.
Now, it's funny you brought that up. I don't know. Twitter was all, and yes, I'm calling it Twitter, for those of you who want to correct me, was all ablaze today because supposedly there is a picture of Millie Alcock in her Supergirl uniform.
Oh, yeah?
And her thinking it's going to be released sometime soon.
Is it AI art?
No, it hasn't been released yet. It's supposed to be a
okay.
legit, like they're saying there's been a photo taken that's going to be released as, little early promotion for the film or something, and people were like, we got to see it. And so, of course, we had the scoopers on Twitter going, I've seen the photo. It's like, no, you haven't.
Sure you have. Okay, buddy.
But I do hope that's true. I would like to see, I'm looking forward. I'm hoping, her S is, the same as the Superman that we're getting. And I'm looking forward to that. Because I think, did we talk about the Jason Momoa thing last week? When he almost showed that reporter the picture of him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you did bring that up. Yep. we talked about it. We talked about how other MCU actors have let things slip in the past to the point where it kind of like became a joke with, oh my gosh, Peter Parker.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, yeah. Sorry, I don't know why his name slipped in my mind, but yeah, he was notorious for doing that.
Well, yeah, and Mark Ruffalo. You got to see this next one, guys.
That's right.
Everybody dies. Oh wait, I shouldn't have said that.
I shouldn't have said that.
He's like, yeah, we all die at the end, and Anthony, oh my God, I can't think of his name.
Anthony Mackie.
It wasn't Anthony Mackie. It was Rhodey.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, Rhodey, not Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah. Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle, yes, thank you. He was like,
Yeah.
he's like, and he's like, oh,
I mean, we don't.
Wait, I can't say that. No, you can't say that, you dope.
But all good stuff. I am excited. We'll be back Thursday talking about Daredevil Born Again, the 2 episodes that have dropped tonight. some people have probably already finished the first one since it is 10:10. They're probably deep into the second one. I can't wait to watch. I hope Dave is right. I hope we get a healthy dose of Frank Castle.
I hope so too.
And really hoping that this season kind of leads into this special presentation that he's working on, because, finding out that he is getting his own little special presentation all about the Punisher is good news. Great news. Even.
Yes.
But should we find somebody to raid, gents?
I think we should.
I don't see anybody on my list.
I see Tiny Velker on.
Yep, Tiny Valker, Alex,
Doug, Carmen, T-Pain.
We're not doing T-Pain. We only got 3 viewers. I hate for him to chastise us again because we didn't have enough viewers for
3 people. Thanks.
Yeah, let's do Tiny Valker.
Thanks.
An avocado. Thank you.
We were watching, Keith and I were watching Beaky B earlier.
Oh, what are you now?
I was laughing because she rated somebody, and the girl was like, "Oh yeah, if someone follows me, I'll sing again or whatever." And I sang, or I followed her, and it said fellow nerd Doug followed her, and she's like, "Oh, fellow nerd," and I'm like, "Am I logged in as fellow nerd Doug right now?" And then I realized it said fellow nerd Doug and 2 others followed you, and I was like, I slacked Doug and said, "Are you watching Beaky B right now?"
And she did sing.
So you are and 2 others. Nice.
Yeah. Yes, Not Your Status Quo was the 2 others.
We should count as 2. That's right. But
Yeah.
we are about to raid Tiny Valker, who is playing Baldur's Gate 3, for those of you on YouTube. Nice. This is something we do on Twitch, where we send our viewers to another content creator that we enjoy, spreading the love. We can do that on YouTube, but it's very awkward and weird, so we don't, because we have to know who's live when we're live. And
as awkward as Todd McFarlane's intros?
God, no. Nothing is that awkward. But we're going to raid them, but we are going to be back Thursday talking about the 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again, and we'll be back probably, I think, next Monday. We have to talk about when we're going to stream the next 2 episodes of Spawn, because I don't think I can do Sunday. But we'll be back talking about episodes 3 and 4 of Spawn. Should be a lively conversation. Monday? If you guys are good with Monday, that'll work. We can talk about it.
Monday.
Excellent.
I can do Monday.
Sweet. We'll be back Monday after that to talk Spawn. I'm sorry, Todd McFarlane's Spawn.
There you go. Thank
episode 3 and 4. I don't want to get sued by him for not giving him full creator rights. And then we'll be back with some more Daredevil Born Again. But we're about to raid Tiny Valker. So thanks, everybody. If you're watching us, don't forget to do all the YouTube things. Subscribe, like, comment. Follow us on Twitch if you can. All the things that are free. We really appreciate it. It helps our tiny channel out immensely. So thanks,
a goofy goober.
Thanks, SpongeBob.
You're also a goofy goober. You're a goofy goober.
All right. We're going to... Spawn, we'll see y'all soon.
Peace out, guys. Welcome back to the
Hello,
Goofy
nerds.
Goober
I
channel.
hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.